Hey guys, thank you very much for joining me today. If you would like to see how I turned this inspirational beach brooch into something really exciting, please keep watching. I would also just like to say at this moment in time, I am utterly astounded that I have reached not only 100 subscribers but nearly 150 now. Thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed. I will be running a giveaway. I just didn't think that this was the right time to do it. There are far more important things in the world that people need to be learning about and thinking about, and yeah, so I want to say thank you. There will be a giveaway of some description coming soon. I just didn't think now was the right time. Yeah, enjoy. Hey guys, it's LJ here. So I thought that I would do another beach piece, and I have 3 different sizes of circle mould here. I've got a coaster and 2 art pieces, and so what I thought I would do is I would create 3 beach pieces so they can go together as a display in size order. That makes sense. You'll see as I go. Pigments from Resin 8. I've got my Resin 8 opaque white, which is just the best thing in the world for making waves and sails and lacing. I've got my bag of seashells and starfish. I also have some Resin 8 fine sand, some shells that I collected on holiday. Not sure if I'm going to use those. And then I have my thicker aquarium sand. Mix up my resin and I will let you watch what I'm doing. So I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it if you could do that. I do a mix of resin craft and paper craft, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. See you at the end. Okay, so a really quick plea. Please wear PPE when working with resin. I know it's in short supply at the moment, but please do. So these bubbles, oh my gosh, sand and bubbles. Jeez, I cannot tell you. You saw the bubbles in the cup, that happened about 5 or 6 times. And then once it was in the mould, we had more bubbles as well. So I've poured the sand along the bottom of all 3 of my moulds. I'm just trying to make it look like a slightly natural shoreline, not a straight line. And then using our Resin 8 pigments, I did a dark blue and a light blue. Now that dark blue was not dark, so I had to add a little bit more to it just to darken it up, because I wanted a real difference between the dark and the light so that we could get a nice gradient. So much better now. So a little bit of dark blue in the top of each, some sort of medium in the middle, and then a very light blue along the bottom. And I did 3 colours because I just wanted to make sure we had a nice natural gradient just along that shoreline. So I've poured all 3 in. Going to fill the mould about halfway full at this point with resin. The sand is coming up quite high, and that's good because we're going to do more layers of water, but we do want the water to be sort of about halfway up the mould. So I've done my 3 colours. We're going to give it a blast with the heat gun, pop any bubbles, get them to sort of mix really nicely. I do love watching how they mix. And then I spent about half an hour going over those bubbles in the sand. And then I added a very thin line of Resin 8 opaque white pigment. And this just to give it a nice sort of white edge along where this layer of resin meets the sand. So this is before I've put any shells on, before I've done anything. And I've just popped that on there so that we get some sort of underwater waves, if that makes sense. So these will sit underneath on the bottom layer. I'm then going to select a variety of shells from Amazon. I'll put the link below for you. Some starfish, which are also from Amazon. I'll pop that link for you. And then some of the larger shells that I collected when we were on holiday in Ireland last year. And I wanted to make these look quite natural. So I've got a bit of a mishmash of different coloured shells, different sizes, different shapes. And then with the starfish, not seahorses, oh dear, wishful thinking that is. With the starfish, I wanted to get a selection of sizes out so that we could have similarities and differences between them. My original plan was to have 2 on each, the biggest on the biggest, the smallest on the smallest. But I thought I'd play about with that a little bit, as you'll see in a second. So these larger shells are the ones that I collected. And then this has been
maybe 3 or 4 hours since I poured the resin, we're going to start adding these in, because we want the resin to be tacky enough that the shells and the starfish stick to it, but not soft enough that they sink through and disappear, because that would just totally ruin the effect. So I'm popping them on, giving them a bit of a push into that sand. I did start off not wearing gloves, and that is very naughty considering I've just plead for you all to wear PPE all the time. You really, really do need to. I know it's in short supply. I am washing and reusing gloves as much as possible, but you need to wear them. Resin is a toxic substance. So there we go. I have popped some gloves on now. Just going to add in the starfish and the shells across all three. Try and make it look like a natural beach. I don't want anything too perfect, too staged. So I've done a few little collections of them. I then added the smallest starfish and the largest starfish together because I thought that was quite cute. Maybe, you know, a parent and child type of starfish. So we've popped those in just to make sure they adhere to this layer because we don't want them coming off. The bonus of doing it at this stage, it's now 24 hours later. When I do this layer, if any of them aren't stuck, I could have added a little bit more clear resin to get them to stick. So this one, we've just got two colours of resin, a light blue and a dark blue. Just had another layer of depth, and we're going to do a very thin clear layer and then add some neat, so not diluted, Resin-8 opaque white pigment. Okay, and we're going to blow that over that clear line. When you blow it over the blue, it can sort of mix in with the blue colour, whereas when I did the white with a clear layer, you got a much nicer appearance of the cells and the lacing. So on all three, I'm just doing a very thin line of the white and then blowing it with the heat gun. I love watching this stuff work. It's like magic. It just, no work is required. You just add some heat and boom, cells and lacing. I love it. Love this pigment. Resin-8, you have done wonders with this one. So all three of those done. Going to leave it again for 24 hours because we want this layer to set fully. Then we're going to do another layer. I apologise for this being slightly out of focus. I'm not entirely sure why it was out of focus. I think it might have been the lighting. What I've done, I've just done a clear layer about halfway down the medium and large moulds. I've done a very thin clear layer, used a toothpick to run the Resin-8 opaque white pigment and given it a blow with the torch. So this has created a second layer of waves. The nice thing about this is you do see, when you take it out, you'll see a layer. So another 24 hours later, I'm doing a third wave on the largest piece, and I'm just adding a tiny bit more to the second wave of the middle one. I wanted it to do one wave on the smallest, two waves on the middle, three waves on the largest. I thought that was quite a nice touch. So again, adding on some of that opaque white pigment from Resin-8, blowing it with the torch and watching it work. It's magic. I genuinely could sit and watch this all day. Like, I would happily watch a video of someone just making lacing with this Resin-8 pigment. It is incredible. So we're going to leave this again for 24 hours to completely cure before we take it out of the mould, and then we'll have a look at our triptych all together.
Hey guys, so we are back to demould our triptych beach pieces. So we'll start with our littlest one. So this one only has one layer of waves. So we'll pop this out. Of our mould. Let's take this couple of tiny bits of flashing to take off. There we go. So there is our initial little one. Nice translucent colour shift. We've got a nice smooth backing with our underwater waves and our crashing waves. I absolutely love that. And I don't know if you can quite catch the starfish is sticking out a little bit. I don't know if that is showing up, but the starfish here is sticking up ever so slightly, which is cute. So that's our littlest, we'll do our middle-sized. So this one's got our initial waves and a second layer of waves, and there is a lump. You can feel that second layer, which is really exciting, and I prefer this so much to how I used to do the waves. Sorted. So there is our medium-sized one. Again, you can see my fingers through, so it is a translucent water, and I don't know if you can catch. I don't know if the light will catch the layer. So just here, there is like a lump that takes you up on the wave. It's kind of hard to see. And our starfish ended up covered in water because I'd put it in slightly too low, so I just stuck another one on top to add to it. So there is our medium. And then we'll move on to our large, which is my favourite piece. We will just pop this out of our mould. I'm always nervous when I'm working with sand that it's going to stick to my moulds, but it doesn't, which is good. So we've got a tiny piece of flashing there, tiny piece there. Let me clear that edge. There we go. So here is our large piece. So again, we've got our diddy starfish and a large starfish, some larger shells, some smaller shells, and this sand is, if I can hold it, you can see the lumpiness of the sand. It's beautiful texture. And then we have got, if I pop it on the side, you might be able to see our first layer that goes up to a second layer, that goes up to a third layer of water. And when you run your finger from here, you've got the sand, you've got nice, smooth, up and up, which I absolutely adore. So we've got our large, our medium, and our small. So yeah, thank you very much for spending time with me today. I've really enjoyed making this. Let me know which one is your favourite. I can't decide, I like them all together. I'm going to be making a few more of these, so yeah, keep an eye out and I'll send some pictures. Have a wonderfully crafty day, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.